The city wept, its tears slicking the cobblestones of the narrow alley where flashing blue and red lights danced a macabre ballet. Detective Marcus Black, his trench coat collar turned up against the biting wind, stepped out of his unmarked sedan. The air hung thick with the metallic tang of rain and something far more sinister. He navigated the sea of uniforms, his gaze fixed on the scene cordoned off by yellow tape. There, beside the victim, sprawled in stark relief against the wet ground, was a symbol. It was a crudely etched spiral, a sigil he hadn't seen in years, a ghost from a past he thought long buried. A junior officer approached, his face pale under the harsh glare of the forensic lamps. "Nothing on him, sir. No ID, no wallet, just that." Black crouched, his gloved fingers tracing the air inches above the mark. The rain intensified, trying to wash away the stain, but the image was already burned into his mind. Back in the sterile quiet of the precinct's evidence room, the pieces began to click into place. The spiral wasn't just a random carving, it was a signature. Black pulled a dusty, forgotten box from the cold case archives, the label reading, "The Architect, 2008. Inside, faded photographs showed the same spiral next to other victims, cases that had grown cold and been swallowed by time. He spread the old files across his desk, the victims' faces staring up at him, their silent pleas echoing across the decade. A photo of a small silver locket found on the first victim caught his eye. It was identical to one he'd seen clutched in the hand of tonight's victim. The connection was undeniable. This wasn't a copycat. The architect was back. A cold resolve settled over him, hardening his features. This was no longer just a case, it was a reckoning. He had to finish what he started all those years ago. The trail, once cold, now burned hot, leading him through the city's forgotten underbelly to the derelict wharf at the edge of the bay. The skeletal remains of old warehouses loomed like silent giants against the bruised pre-dawn sky. Rotting wood groaned under his feet as he moved through the labyrinth of decaying structures, his hand resting on the holstered weapon beneath his coat. The only sounds were the distant cry of a gull and the gentle lapping of polluted water against the pier. He saw a flicker of light from the far end of the longest dock, a lone bulb illuminating a shadowy figure. The figure stood still, waiting as if they knew he was coming. As Black stepped out from behind a stack of rusted shipping containers, the rain began to fall once more. The space between them crackled with unspoken history and imminent violence. The confrontation was set, a silent promise of an ending as the scene slowly faded to black.